It's Emily, and today I'm here to bring you another recent reads video. I got 3 books to talk about, so let's just get right into it. The first book I finished recently was Something New, Tales from a Makeshift Bride by Lucy Knisley. This is a graphic memoir. I've been reading Lucy Knisley's graphic memoirs in publication order, and I finished all my books on my July TBR early, so I decided to pick this up as a little treat to myself. This is exactly what it sounds like. It is Lucy's tale of planning her wedding. She starts out telling us how she and her boyfriend met, and she shows us their relationship and how they got engaged. She then starts talking about planning the wedding. She also talks about her actual wedding day, and then she talks about a lot of the history of weddings, both historically and current day. She talks about a lot of the problems of the wedding industry, the expense, the hassle it causes you with your family. She has a very close relationship with her mom, but she's an only child, and her mom was very concerned about having a big wedding, and they had several fights about the wedding in different aspects. So it's very much just an overall portrait of the wedding industry and in Lucy Knisley's wedding in particular. This is a really cute book. I enjoyed it. I read it over the course of several days on my lunch break at work, and then I brought it home and finished it on a Friday night. I thought it was good. I will say that Lucy is very privileged in a lot of ways, and she doesn't really seem to address that privilege in this book. Lucy is a bisexual woman, and so she does talk about how marrying a man sort of makes it harder for her to show that she's a bisexual woman, and she fears losing part of her identity. But she doesn't talk about the financial aspect and how she's privileged in that regard. Her mother seems to pay for most of the wedding. They have it at her mother's house, and her mother is also a caterer, and so she can get Lucy a lot of stuff for lower prices than most people would probably pay. But overall, I enjoyed this. I thought it was cute. I could see myself rereading this if I ever get engaged, and I could also see myself getting this for people in my life when they get married. So yeah, really enjoyed this. The first book that I finished in August was In the Great Green Room, The Brilliant and Bold Life of Margaret Wise Brown by Amy Gary. Margaret Wise Brown, in case you don't know, is the author of multiple children's books, most notably Goodnight Moon and The Runaway Bunny. She was a very interesting woman. First of all, she's a very privileged woman. She was born to a wealthy family, and she spent her entire life circulating in very privileged circles. She worked for several publishing houses in New York City, and the only reason she got a job was because her father said she had to get one or he was going to stop her allowance, and she didn't get married, so that's why she got her job. She worked on her books. She also had a very I don't know what the word is, but unique love life. She had 2 loves of her life. One was a woman named Michael Strange. After her relationship with Michael ended, she had a relationship with James Rockefeller, who of course is a member of the Rockefeller family. This book talks about her career. It talks about her love life, and it also talks about her love of various places. She really loved Maine. She loved Virginia. She went to Holland University, and so she always retained a love of that area. She also went to Cumberland Island in Georgia, and Cumberland Island is the island immediately south of Jekyll Island, which my family has a close connection to, so I enjoyed reading about her experience on Cumberland Island. And it also talks about her love, of course, of New York City. This book was okay. The writing was very simple, and I don't know if it was an intentional homage to Margaret Wise Brown's writing, but it was very, very simple. I didn't think it was that well written. I also was very disturbed by Margaret's relationship with Michael Strange, not because it was a lesbian relationship, I don't care about that, but because Michael Strange was a terrible person, and she insulted Margaret, she was rude to Margaret, she was just terrible, and I don't understand this, and I how Margaret felt like the bad was worth the good, which I don't understand that at all. If the person you love is making you feel bad about yourself, then they're not a good person and they don't really love you. So what's up with that? So yeah, that really annoyed me. I didn't recommend that part. Or not that I didn't recommend it, but I don't really recommend this book because both the writing and just how sad Margaret's life was, and also how privileged she was, and she never seemed to do anything really to improve the life of the world at large. Although you could argue that her books helped people, children, to learn how to read, and she was very interested in helping children's literature become a fully fledged part of publishing, which it did under her influence. She also talks a lot about how, for the first part of her life, she struggled with the fact that she wanted to be, more recognized as an adult writer because she wanted to circulate in those important publishing circles. But eventually, she did come to realize that publishing children's books was her gift, and she was meant to do that. So in a way, it's good that she became aware of her role in the world. She also died very early. She died at the age of 42 of a embolism, which was really sad. So overall, this was okay, but not amazing, and definitely not really something I would recommend unless you're really, really interested in learning about Margaret Wise Brown. The book that I finished most recently was Dear Emma by Heaney, and this is a contemporary fiction book about a college junior named Harriet. Harriet writes an advice column called Dear Emma for her local school's paper, and so she answers questions, and one day she gets a letter from a woman that she realizes is the new girlfriend of a man she really likes named Keith. She also, after she receives this letter, the woman, whose name is Remy, begins working at the library with Emma, and so it's sort of about her struggle to deal with Remy. At first she hates her because of her role in Keith's life, and then eventually she comes to sort of an understanding and a recognition that it wasn't really Remy's fault that Keith broke up with her, and that Keith was a douchebag. So it's sort of about her progression into becoming a more understanding person and a more self-aware person. She also has a fight with her roommate and best friend Mel because Mel has gained a boyfriend and doesn't tell Harriet about it for a while because she's afraid Harriet will be upset because of Harriet's own unhappiness. So it's just a day-to-day account of Harriet's problems and her boy issues and her working on this column. This was okay. At the start, I really didn't like it, but it sort of grew on me. But Harriet's not an amazing character. She's just average. Also, I never really understood why she started writing this advice column because she's an English major, but she doesn't really work for the paper at all, so I didn't really understand that aspect. And also, she was kind of annoying in a lot of ways, although again, she did grow on me. But I wouldn't really recommend this to anybody. It's just an average, day-to-day contemporary life about a book about college life, but nothing amazing. Currently, I'm listening to Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen on audiobook. I'm really enjoying this. I'm getting close to finishing. I'll probably finish it this weekend. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's my favorite of the three that I've read this summer. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'll talk more about it later. I also restarted The Worth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. I started this in June, read the first 50 pages, and then put it down and never picked it up again, so I decided to just start over. So I reread the first 50 pages, and now I'm getting into some parts that I've never read before. I'm really enjoying this. I definitely think I will finish it this time. I blocked off a whole week of my reading life to dedicate to this book, so I don't foresee any issues in finishing it this time. So yeah, that's all I've been reading lately. I hope everybody else has been reading some great books. You're keeping safe and keeping healthy, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!